Yo, what is up? Today I'm bringing you a gameplay breakdown of a recent game I had with Rampage in the jungle. Within this team comp, I played the role of the tank/initiator. With these videos, I intend to showcase pivotal and key highlights that swayed us closer to victory. In addition, I will try to explain my thought process and my decisions made by myself and my team as we played throughout this game. In this team comp, we had a Greystone in the off lane, we had a Countess in the mid lane, and a FaZe and Yin in the right lane. One thing I noticed off the bat going into this game is that we had a very aggressive team comp with Countess, Greystone, Rampage, and FaZe, allowing us to be even more aggressive. Anyways, let's get right into it and let's show you what happened during this game. So in the beginning of the game, in most of my decks, I have a dummy ward. Usually I put this by the river buff, or if I can, I will put it closer to the green buff to get vision on the enemy jungler when they are jungling. I usually do this to prevent the enemy jungler from pulling any aggressive plays towards the beginning of the game. However, in this early game, Countess actually makes a play with the vision that I put down by the green buff on Sev's jungle. And a couple moments later, my ward starts to ping as Sev is doing his green buff. Fortunately enough, our Countess in the mid lane notices this and goes for a risky play and actually steals the green buff from Sev. Sev is a very weak jungler when it comes to the early game, and setting him back can mean a really big advantage when it comes to the late game. Shortly after, I finish clearing my jungle and I go to contest the river buff at the 3-minute mark. Unfortunately, I'm not able to clear my full jungle to get me to level 3, but that's alright because I have green buff and my spirit regeneration is not a big priority. However, shortly after, I go to the last camp to get my level 3 unlocked, and then shortly after, we look to get a play in the mid lane or in the right lane. I see mid lane is pushed up and FaZe playing really defensively, so I go to do something else instead. Instead, I go to the off lane to steal some jungle camp from Sevrog so we can set him back and prevent him from getting any more soul stacks. Right here, I made a mistake and I should have went around. However, I stay back here looking for Sarah to get a pick. However, I just throw a stupid rock, but it almost hits her. But we go around and we go over here to secure this tower. I rotate to the right lane instead of the off lane because Greystone is a more durable off laner, and instead I wanted to take the right lane tower down faster so we can have our Yin and our FaZe rotate to left lane. Fortunately enough, our solo queue team does notices that and they rotate to the left lane. Shortly after, we stuck around and we contest another river buff on the right lane. However, I stick around and don't go back to base because I want to get 6 CXP to get my Mad Spore Sash. With Mad Spore Sash, I intend to clear my jungle camps faster with Rampage, allowing me more time to rotate and to be hyper aggressive in the early and mid game to set Sevrog back or to make more plays happen for my team. So I started doing my green buff a little bit earlier than usual because I wanted to contest all the way to the left side of the other river buff, allowing my Countess to get a safer river buff on the right side. Now I did this because I didn't want the enemy Sevrog to obviously get the river buff, but I also didn't want my Countess to get picked off if Sevrog did rotate to get that river buff. It was safer for me to get it since I'm Rampage, I'm more durable, I can leap out of danger, and also it's really bad if our mid laner gets set back from a pick, so we actually managed to get both of the river buffs and make a play happen. I was lucky enough to get a stealth buff from the river camp as Time was my best friend here as a little skirmish starts to break out between the enemy carry and support. I land the rock on Revenant and I tank the shots without any hesitation since I do have the green buff, and a fight starts to break out between Sevrog and Faye here in the mid lane. Countess goes back in, she goes with the ult. I made a mistake here. I thought I had enough time to flick the rock and catch Sevrog as he turned the corner. The better decision would have been to turn around, hit the Faye. That would have been a definite kill secure if I landed the rock on Faye instead. Bad decision making. However, Yin starts to go back in. I spam retreat, telling her to get out since our team starts to back off. And I just body block just in case Sevrog wants to make anything happen with that. So shortly after going back to base, I noticed that Sevrog's green buff is going to be spawning in a while. With Sevrog, every time I see a Sevrog and I'm playing jungle, I try to invade the jungle as much as I can to bother and harass the Sevrog so we can set him back. Now right here, I made an actual key mistake. It might seem like a little thing, but I used my rock. That was a big mistake right there. You're gonna see why right now. I go to the green buff, that's what was my intention, but I see Sevrog jungling right here, and I go in on him thinking I can get the kill. Right here, I could have used my boulder, but I didn't have it because I wasted it on the Fae. Narbash blocks my boulder. I popped my ultimate as soon as I saw Narbash because I didn't want to die. I didn't manage to secure the kill on Sevrog. Again, if I had my boulder, I would have got the kill. Bad little mistake I made right there. However, we came and we got what we needed, which was his green buff. And we actually almost kill him again as Sevrog tries to contest his green buff. Again, I'm trying to retreat. But our Countess says her ultimate's ready, so I just go in. Really risky play right here. I'm out of mana. I don't have any mana for a boulder, but I did go in since our Countess said her ultimate was ready and she wanted to get a pick on Fae. We do get the pick on Fae, but Countess goes down in the process. However, I think it was worth. We got the green buff. We got Sevrog out of his jungle. He's missing out on farm. And actually, our Yin actually got the left lane because Narbash had to rotate into the jungle. So overall, it was a good play. It shows that we have really good map presence and that we have map control. So that was a really good play. A couple moments later, I start to get my green buff once again. I use my green buff a lot to accompany me when I'm ganking or invading jungle or looking to do RapTRz, for example. Right here, they try to make a play and siege the mid lane. However, I'm looking to do RapTRz with my carry and support. Unfortunately, they were stuck on the left lane pushing out that lane, so I just ward Raps real quick. And our Countess, I see her start to engage on this Narbash. As soon as I see her ult, she stuns him, and then I stun him back again with a boulder. However, I retreat quickly after that because their whole team was in that jungle, and I didn't want to give up another free kill if we kept initiating on another fight. So that was a good pick right there. And we go back to clear out and get our cards here. Now, right here, again, I was looking to do Raps, and our left side was pushed out finally after that little incident we had right there with Narbash. So I'm looking here at my cards, and I see that Narbash is thunk, Sevrog's abilities, and especially that Revenant Obliterate is going to start hurting here in the mid game. So I start building up my barrier card and a little bit of health in my ward. So we rotate over to Raptor camp, and their enemy Ceres is occupied with our Greystone in the right lane, and I see Revenant go back towards the safe lane, so I start the Raptors right away so we can get these out of the way, make sure the enemy doesn't have time to collapse on us. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have enough power to clear it as fast as I wanted to, so a team fight starts to break out. As soon as I see Fae ult, I pop my ult, and I interrupt the crash bang boom from the Narbash, and as soon as I see Revenant, I go onto him to zone him out of the fight. Now, I spread myself a little bit too thin, and I almost go down right here, but the barrier and that little bit of health we slotted before we went to the Raptor camp saved us right there. Our Yin goes down, but we do manage to get the Revenant and the Narbash, which was worth. We also secured the Raptor camp while our Greystone is occupying their Sereth on right lane. So again, a couple moments later, the same formula happens. I get my green buff and I allow myself some time to rotate to the left side. With green buff, I'm looking to make plays to contest rear buff, and in this very specific moment, I was looking to invade the jungle to set Sevrog even further behind. I didn't manage to see him. The good thing about Rampage is you can be very aggressive. You are very hard to deal with, especially with your ultimate, so you are very hard to kill. Hence why I was just roaming around in the jungle. Again, we wait for the river buff to spawn, and we're looking for a play. So again, I go back to the jungle to see if I can catch Sevrog jungling since I don't see him on the map. And as I'm warding, I see the enemy Revenant, and I land a boulder on him, but I hesitate to go in because I didn't see our Yin and our Phase right behind us, which was bad map awareness on my part. I see Sevrog starting to collapse on us, so I was hesitant to go in on this fight. However, Sevrog wastes his root on me, and Phases uses his root on him, so I land the boulder as soon as I see the opportunity to do so. I pop my ultimate with the intentions to get Sevrog because I thought he was going to go away, but I end up going on the Revenant because I know my team has been following up on me very, very well, so I play extra aggressive, and I land a super clutch rock on Revenant when I lag. Now our Yin stays a little bit too long behind the tower trying to pick off Narbash, so she eats some tower shots and actually gets taken out. Our Greystone and our Countess continue to push and try to siege a tier 2. However, we don't manage to get a tier 2 since we did lose our Yin, which does a lot of basic attack damage towards the towers. So a couple moments later, we actually make a really big mistake as part of being a frontliner and a tank. I start to see the left lane starting to push up a little bit, so I go with the intentions to set the lane while my FaZe and my Yin are doing the Raptor camp. Now I know a team fight might break out when this is happening, but I leave my team and leave my Countess to zone out by herself, which is a really bad mistake. If anything, I should have left after I killed this siege minion right here. However, I keep hitting the minions and a team fight again, as I predicted, broke out and I was late to the team fight. And that was overall just bad positioning on my part. First of all, because that lane still had a long time before it reached to our tier 2. Second of all, I should have been there to zone with my Countess to make sure our Yin and our FaZe get the Raptor camp safely. So that was a big mistake on my part. So my initial reaction after our Countess got picked off was to zone off the enemy team by ulting in front of them, you know, trying to block them off through the jungle exit. However, my Yin and my FaZe stuck around. I think they were just a miscommunication and they thought I was gonna stick around and try to fight it out with the enemy team. So they stuck around too long and it actually cost us all three of us dying, which was unfortunate. They could have got out alive and I could have got out alive as well. But it was just a miscommunication. Hopefully enough though, our Greystone rotates to mid lane to prevent from any towers going down. And we also got the Raptor camp, but it was definitely not worth all of us dying for it. Again, a couple moments later, we grab our green buff and invade the enemy jungle. I was looking to counter jungle and steal some camps, but this opportunity presented itself as the enemy Narbash and Revenant overextend. I popped my ult thinking they were going to run towards our jungle, so I popped my ult to make sure they wouldn't get away, but instead they run towards our side of the jungle, which was a weird decision on their part. Shortly after, I tried to stick close to my Yin as she begins to fight Revenant. She manages to get the kill on Revenant, but Sev looking in, trying to get a cleanup here on our Yin, but we make sure that doesn't happen by just body blocking Sev. Eventually, he realizes he's lost the fight and tries to escape, but we managed to get our boulder from our mana that we just regenerated, and we managed to secure the kill on our Sev, managing to get a 4-man team wipe. In that moment, a lot of things were going on. I didn't know where the rest of our team was, but I just made sure our Yin survived. Instead of going for the prime, we make the decision to group up and take a tier 2 and a potential inhibitor so the enemies are down. FaZe goes for the beam, and I capitalize on that by stunning the Fae and not hesitating to tower dive her to secure that kill. Here we're looking to get an inhibitor since we have lane pressure in all lanes. Here I managed to go in to try to get the inhib, but we run out of minions. I look at our Greystone. He has a wave going into the right lane, so I go with him and try to get the inhibitor. A really greedy play here. I am trying and I'm just focusing the inhib as long as I can. Our Countess spams the retreat. I managed to get enough mana just to jump out of there, luckily enough for me. However, I notice another wave going into the right lane, so I just dedicate everything to this inhibitor. No matter if I die or not, it is completely worth if I die for the inhib. And luckily enough, we managed to secure an inhibitor at the cost of my life and Greystone's life as he continues to go in on here. We managed to secure the Narbash kill. However, I do tell my team to retreat since we don't want to get team wiped and have the enemy team contest the Ore Prime. It is the late game and the Ore Prime is a big priority target now since inhibs are down and the enemy team is most likely going to be looking to get an Ore Prime. A couple moments later, we go back to our jungle and we start to clear out some 5-stack camps that we have. In this game, I emphasized more on jungling and invading jungle and only visiting our jungle when we had 5-stack camps. At this moment, I could have rotated way earlier, got off my camp because I see our counter is starting to engage on this Seraph. I pop my ult, trying to get there in time. Unfortunately, I'm not able to rotate in time, and our Countess does manage to get picked off. I think she was trying to ward the Prime, and in that moment, she meant Seraph and got picked off. However, we managed to get the job done, and we take out the ward under the Prime with our Mad Spore Sash. At that time, our Greystone said he was going to push left lane so we can have lane pressure to get the Prime. In that meantime, I pushed out right lane so we can have some lane pressure to get ready to do the Prime, since that's a really big objective right now during the mid game. After that has happened, we go back to de-ward the wards that have been placed back on the Prime. I go over here, we de-ward to get ready to make sure they don't have any vision on the Prime. As soon as this happens, I notice that their Seraph is occupied with left lane and they're occupied with mid lane. I notice Narbash is in the right lane and he's probably going to start to rotate towards the Orb Prime, since we did just take out their Prime ward. I start doing the Orb Prime immediately, giving my solo queue team the cue to start doing it right now so we can force it, and while we have the opportunity to do so while the enemy team is occupied. However, the enemy Narbash thinks we are doing the Orb Prime as he hears the sounds of the Orb Prime going off. FaZe hits him with the root, and I hit him with the boulder back to back to secure the kill on Narbash. And out of nowhere, Sevarog tries to contest us as Yin ults. Revenant counteracts by ulting her, and unfortunately Yin gets taken out of the picture. However, I go in on the Sevarog since he's really low health. Countess jumps on her with the blink. However, Sevarog managed to get away without barely any health. Out of there, we don't have the option to do Prime since we've lost our Yin in the process. However, we do manage to get a kill on the Revenant, giving us another chance to secure another inhibitor, making us have a bigger advantage on the siege game, and we do manage to go in and try to take this inhib. However, right now I am out of mana and I hesitate to go in on the Seraph as she presents herself closer to me because our Countess is also out of mana, so we don't have much options to engage. However, the Seraph starts to engage on our Countess. I go directly right onto her as soon as that happens, making her hesitate from going in any further. Faye stays here to try to defend the inhibitor. However, I go in to intimidate her, making sure that I will play aggressive and tower dive her if I have the chance to do so. She backs off and we manage to get a wave into the inhibitor. We go right here trying to contest the inhibitor with everything we have without no mana. However, I do seize an opportunity to land on boulder on somebody, so we rotate towards our Greystone. We pull the boulder and we completely whiff it, and we manage to eat the dust as we get picked off right here by the enemy team. Overall, a great opportunity. Some misplays, but overall a great siege on behalf of our team. The Orb Prime is still in place since us nor the enemy team were able to contest it yet after that Grey Siege during the middle inhibitor. It is still anybody's game. However, we rotate over here to try to contest and set up for the Orb Prime. However, the Seraph shows her face and she tries to get out of the harm's danger while Countess is getting picked on a very crucial target known as Sevarog. We rotate over towards the mid lane. Revenant is still thinking we are close to the Orb Prime, but little does he know he is out of position. Countess hits him with the slow. We land the boulder and we land a very crucial kill on a very important target known as their carry. They are down their carry. They have no damage. They have no front line. We contest the Orb Prime and we rotate towards the mid lane. Countess is pushing the right lane, having great presence in the right lane and the left lane, and now we are pushing towards the mid lane, looking to end this game. Countess is looking for revenge on the Seraph. We've managed to land the rock on the Seraph, and that is the done deal, and it is a good game. Overall, a great team comp that executed on aggression with Rampage, a very aggressive mid laner with our Countess. FaZe allowing us to be even more aggressive with that by capitalizing on opportunities, by being able and freeing ourselves to be available for more ganks rotations as Rampage, by clearing jungles fast and getting green buffs fast to be able to look for opportunities and overall capitalize on very key moments by focusing on sieging inhibitors, getting Raptor camps, and overall getting the Orb Prime there at the end. Overall, a great solo queue team. It's been a while since I played with a team this good. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this series, please be sure to like and subscribe for more gameplay analysis, showcasing highlights, mistakes, and overall great plays with yours truly here in the jungle with Rampage, your boy RapTRz. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.